Hey sportsman, John Bergsman here on site at Lakeside Marine and Power Sports up here in Mecosta. You know what? Things have been crazy this season, but they got some pontoons left. They got some fishing boats left. And behind me, a whole ship store filled with all the fun stuff for summer. They got tubes and torpedoes and skis and all the accessories that you need to have a great day on the water. Today though, 6 great reports here from Fisherman's Digest. Monroe, an in-depth report from Sterling State Park in Monroe and what's going on right there. Then we jump up to Lake St. Clair. We're going to talk with Captain Eric Long and talk about the Upper Detroit River crawler harness bite and then, of course, trolling out on Lake St. Clair. Then we're going to stop in and talk about Saginaw Bay with Captain Jason from Send It Charters. And also Brad Dupuis sent us some really cool pictures. He has a boat right there in Linwood Beach Marina, and he's been whacking the fish on spoons. Then we're going to jump over to the Cadillac area. We're going to talk about not only Cadillac and Mitchell, but also smallmouth stream fishing, basically from the Muskegon River all the way up through the Little Manistee, the Pine River. There is some awesome fishing going on. Eric Richards from Eric Richards Guide Service. He's a stream specialist. He gave us a great report on smallmouth bass in these smaller rivers. Really hot action. Then we're going to go to the Western UP. We're going to talk a little bit with Tim from from Timbers Resort. And we were just up there just a few days ago, whacked tons of bass. They're catching walleye. They're catching panfish in the shallows. The Lake Superior shoreline is still going up there from Ontonagon to the Wisconsin border. And then we're going to end up in Traverse City on Lake Leelanau. Captain Greg Alsip, and he's got Leelanau Narrows Resort and Bait and Tackle Shop. He's got a great report on walleye fishing right there on Lake Leelanau. Stay tuned. 6 great reports this week here on Fisherman's Digest. Hey, first report of the day here, Monroe, Sterling State Park Captain Nick Dode from Real Live Action Sport Fishing has been just crushing the walleyes in 21 to 24 feet of water. Speed 1.3. Nick's using his own custom crawler harnesses on #1 tadpoles, going about 1.3, 1.4 miles an hour. Now, of course, he runs those behind offshore trolling boards, and basically he's meat fishing. Now, we've gotten other reports from guys who are doing basically just the opposite, doubled, meaning they're using mini spoons and they're going 2.2 to 2.6, so they're covering tons of water. Now, the bite is either slow with meat or fast with mini spoons. Now, Dreamweaver makes a really good mini spoon line that is working really good in anything in bright colors or in the purples with copper or gold back. That's been what guys have been pulling and catching lots of spinners. But basically 21 to 25 feet of water out in front of Sterling State Park. You got to work your way around and find the schools. They move, fish have tails. But basically, really, really steady, consistent eater-sized fish. 3 to 5 pounders is really the common and the norm. If you're looking to get out and have a great charter, Captain Nick Dode or Captain Brian Bice from To Be Caught Sport Fishing is also fishing that same Sterling State Park area, probably for the next month or so. So give those 2 guys a call. Nick Dode at Real Live Action Sport Fishing or Brian Bice at To Be Caught Charters.
Don't spend another season breaking your back using 5-gallon gas cans to fuel your toys. The Flo-Fast portable fluid transfer system is your solution. A great tool for fueling your ATVs, snowmobile, boat, garden tractor, and more. Flo-Fast eliminates gas sloshing on you and your machines, plus works in reverse to pull unused fuel from your equipment at the end of each season. The pump transfers from container to container in seconds and moves up to 8 gallons a minute. Log on to flofast.com for a dealer near you.
Hey, next report of the day comes to you from Captain Eric Long and Longline Sport Fishing. Now, Eric's working 2 different areas right now. It's kind of one big area, but it's the Upper Detroit River downstream trolling with big heavy bottom bouncers, 3 and 4 ounce bottom bouncers. He's doing really, really well on the Detroit River, the Upper Detroit, right where it comes out of Lake St. Clair. Now, he's also doing Lake St. Clair trolling charters, which is within basically the U.S. waters, the first 5 miles there out in front of where the Detroit River dumps in. Where it flows into the Detroit River. He's doing mixed bag trolling, so we're using bandits, we're using spoons, we're speed trolling. He's catching smallmouth bass, walleyes. He's mixing some muskies in on the crankbaits at times, and the fishing has been nothing short of outstanding. Now, Captain Dave Long jumped in and has joined Eric with Longline Sport Fishing Charters. So now they have another captain and another one boat to add to the fleet. So now I think they got 3 boats in that fleet, and they can accommodate whatever style of fish you want to do. If you want a muskie only fish, Eric can do that. If you want a combo fish for smallmouth and walleye, they can do that. A little bit later in the summer, they can go add perch fishing into it as well. But fishing is outstanding right now on Lake St. Clair and still remains good for downstream trolling on the northern part of the Detroit River.
The Bait Shop in Waterford is your one-stop live bait and fishing tackle destination. With an awesome selection of rods and reels, custom poured jigs, soft plastics, and panfish baits. The Bait Shop also has seasonal items for ice fishing, the Spring River Walleye Run, and summer salmon, bass, walleye, and pan fishing. Visit the Bait Shop in Waterford for all your bait and tackle needs.
So, next stop of the day, we talked with a couple of guys to get a really good report here from Saginaw Bay. Now, Captain Jason from Send It Charters has been out there and just whacking the fish on spoons. Now, he's using a torpedo diver program that I don't do that particular program, but it helps him keep the line closer to the boat. You can also do the spoon trolling method with 2 and 3 colors of lead, which will get you into that critical zone, which right now out there is about 10 to 15 down. Now the speed is 2.3, 2.5 miles an hour, so you're chucking along pretty quick. The walleyes are biting very well. Now, we talked with also Brad Dupuis, the owner of Angler Quest Pontoons, who's got a boat right there at Linwood Beach Marine. He confirms to me that the fish are in that 10 to 15 foot down zone. Now, Brad chooses to use the diver, the jet diver, the Trip Z's, the Dreamweaver Trip Z's, in either the 30 or the 40 size, and that way he can run short leads as well. 25 out to 40 feet out seems to be the ticket for getting his Dreamweaver mini spoons down. Now, Brad said he's doing really well on the purple that's on copper or gold. A little bit of yellow on it as well, and he's chucking along good too, 2.2, 2.4, moving along spoon speed. You've got to get moving in order to get them. One little tip is if you want to avoid getting some short fish, you can also upsize that spoon from the mini spoon to a Dreamweaver Super Slim in the right colors, and that bigger spoon does tend to cause the shorts to not bite quite so readily. So right now, Saginaw Bay, it's rolling on all cylinders. Walleye are jumping in the boat. They're snapping good and have been for the last week. This should hold on for another month or so before the fish slide out to that deeper water.
Make loading and unloading your boat easy with the Drotto Catch and Release Automatic Boat Latch. Load with ease. Simply drive on the trailer and the Drotto will automatically latch to your bow eye. A hard plastic liner protects your boat. For launching, back your boat in, pull the release lever, and away you go. For roller or bunk trailers, the Drotto is quick and easy to install and works with most V-hull boats. Spend less time at the landing and more time fishing. The Drotto Catch and Release Automatic Boat Latch. Online at DrottoProducts.com.
So next report of the day, we've got the Greater Cadillac region. And when I say Greater Cadillac, it's because we're going to throw a smallmouth river report from Eric Richards in here at the end. And that's going to take us to all of the smaller rivers that run from Cadillac to the Muskegon region. And so on Lake Cadillac and Lake Mitchell, the bass fishing, the general mixed bag fishing has been outstanding. So we've got bass fishing going along the weed edges. We got walleye trolling going along on the deeper breaks in the early light periods, the mornings to evenings. Guys are trolling stick baits and rapalas. and even now moving as the temperatures rise to like flicker minnows. That would be a good choice as we get warmer temperatures. They're catching those walleyes again, low light conditions, morning and evenings. The bass fishing's been basically going all the time. Now, the bluegills have finished their spawning now along with the crappies, and they're moving off to the deeper edges of the weeds. So you're going to find them more in the 6 to 8 foot range, and they're going to become scattered out along the weed edges as they're abandoning their beds. So you're going to have to do a little bit of searching, but bobbers and live bait is an awesome way to catch them. Hey, if you're looking for great information, Steve and Chris over at Pilgrim's Village, they're always the people to talk to. If you're looking for a single night stay, the Days Inn up the road has got really good rooms for an affordable price. And right across the street from Pilgrim's Village, you've got the new Cadillac Lake Resort. It's a new complex that used to be formerly the Sands that's been bought up, totally renovated, and now they've got a nice, beautiful lakeside resort on Lake Cadillac. So if you're looking for a longer stay, maybe a 2, 3, 4 day or even a 1 week stay with a family right on the side of the lake, the Cadillac Lake Resort is worth checking out. So now our river report. So Eric Richards from Eric Richards Guiding, he's based down more in that Muskegon, Newaygo area. He sends us some really great information on stream fishing, and he's been hammering the local native trout in those small rivers and streams around that area. But he said the smallmouth bass fishing right now is on fire in small rivers. So we're talking about small, the Muskegon River, the Little Manistee, the Pere Marquette, the Pine. Those are all great small rivers here in the lower south central area of the state in order to encounter great smallmouth fishing. Now, you're going to want to find those right now on small poppers or topwaters, or also very small, like the number 7 and 9 Rapalas, but the floating ones where you can almost twitch them along. Now, you're going to want to concentrate your efforts next to shore, next to the deep cut banks where those bigger smallmouth can hide. Also, laydowns. Laydowns really tend to hold really good smallmouth this times of the year. And if you can find the laydown that's in close proximity to the bank itself, that's going to be even better. So make your casts and twitch your bait in, and the smallmouth should be jumping on it pretty good. As summer progresses, we'll come back with a late summer tactic that Eric says is just lights out. But the Cadillac region, with all of its lakes and the small rivers from Muskegon to Cadillac right now, are humming with really good fishing.
Wyandotte Lure manufactures soft plastic baits and fishing tackle right here in the Detroit area. Our famous original Wyandotte worm and the new Motor City minnow are made with our own special blend of material that is soft enough for a fish to bite, but durable enough to use all day. Our baits are available in over 30 different fish-catching colors. Just another reason why Wyandotte Lure is known as the king of the river. Go to WyandottLure.com or ask for them at your local bait and tackle store.
So the Western Upper Peninsula is our next stop. We were just up there. My videographer, Brett, and I were up there for 3 days. We had a great time. We filmed a show in Curtis. Awesome show. Then we slid on over to Gogebic. Had never fished bass on Gogebic before. Caught 20 keeper bass on Lake Gogebic. Smallmouth fishing up there is alive and well and going very well. We also talked to some guys in the camp and over by Timbers Resort right there in the town of Berglund who were doing really well on walleyes. Now, the smallmouth fishing is still in the shallows. Now, these aren't bedding fish, mind you. These fish have done spawning, but they're still kind of cruising in that shallow, rocky area, between the first line of weeds, maybe at 8 foot to 4 foot. That 4 to 8 foot zone on the shallow or shore side of the weeds has been holding lots of fish, probably because there's lots of minnows and crayfish action going on in there. We were throwing sinking wacky worms. We were throwing swim baits. We were throwing jerk baits and some topwater. All of them were producing there on Lake Gogebic, and I expect that bite to hold for several weeks as the water up there is still relatively cool. Now, if you're talking about walleye fishing, you're looking at 12 to 15 feet in the low light conditions in the mornings and in the later evenings with crawler harnesses down the breaks. You could also troll flicker minnows down those same breaks in the morning and have success. The weeds aren't really up high yet, so trolling either harnesses or flicker minnows, even in shallower water, has been very productive. If you get high sun days, those fish will, along those same shorelines, slide out to that 18 to 20 foot range. So be very aware of that. Once you get to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, if you're going to continue to fish, you're going to want to push out to some deeper water and fish that 18 to 20 foot. But flicker minnows or crawler harnesses with live bait are what's catching the walleyes right now.
Midwest Steel Carports is Michigan's premier steel building manufacturer. We manufacture and install custom steel buildings throughout Michigan. Our engineer-certified steel buildings are fully tailored to fit your every need, and our up to 40-year warranty protects your investment. From residential storage sheds to commercial warehouses, let our team work with you to find your ideal building. For more information and pricing, visit MidwestSteelCarports.com.
So last report of the day is we're sliding back over the bridge going to the Greater Traverse City region. Now we've had some great smallmouth bass reports. We've talked about Cisco fishing and casting for those. There's lots of stuff biting right now in Traverse City, but Lake Leelanau, Greg Alsip from the Leelanau Narrows Resort told us that the fishing on Leelanau has really stabilized. We just got through a massive early season mayfly hatch. And that mayfly hatch always knocks the bite down. It's not because there's any less fish. It's just because, it's like trying to feed dessert to somebody after they just ate buffet. They're not always taken. So, the fish are starting to get past the mayfly hatch now. And so this is how Greg's been catching them. He's been catching them with jigs and paddle tails on weed edges. Now, a couple of years ago, I did a TV show on Leelanau with this exact presentation. Small jig, 1/8-ounce jig, a 2.75 Strike King paddle tail, just the swimming jig, in the baby bass color, which is kind of like a green pumpkin with pepper flake on top and a little bit of an opaque or pearlish belly. That's a super good bait there, 2.75 Strike King. And you just cast it, let it hit the bottom, and you're actually just kind of snap jerking it back. You're not just slow rolling it like a swim bait. You're actually pop jerking that back to yourself. And Greg says that's been working very, very well. Now, if you're looking for a different thing, maybe you're a bass fisherman converted, let me tell you what, you can catch a lot of walleyes by throwing deep jerk baits, deep KVDs like the 300 series KVD. That works really good over those new emerging weeds. There's lots of distance over top of those weeds, maybe 3-4 feet of water. So you're able to still cast toward shore, rip it a couple times, and then twitch it on slack line all the way back. Walleyes have been hitting that very, very readily in the low light morning and evening conditions. Now, if you're more of a traditionalist and you want to fish, slip bobbers and leeches is working with very small jigs, 16th-ounce jigs, 32nd-ounce jigs. You're going to always want to fish that in and around the weeds on preferably structure, meaning points or humps, some sort of a structure that's going to draw fish in regularly throughout the day. You don't want to fish that on just long stretch shorelines. So you're going to want to find inside turns that are leading into points or coming out of points or humps again. That's where leeches and bobbers is really a killer. But if you're looking for an awesome adventure, give Captain Greg Alsip a call. He's based out of the Leelanau Narrows Resort and Bait Shop right there on Lake Leelanau. So hey guys, thanks for joining us. We had a jam-packed fishing report this week because guys all over the state are catching fish. And if you're talking about jam-packed, you're talking about the store I'm here at, and that's Lakeside Power Sports and Marine up here in Mecosta. Their inside store is jammed with all the stuff people need to have a great day on the water, whether it's water toys or PFDs or throw cushions or dock lines. They've got a full service department in the back if you're having any type of problems with your boat and you want to get it tuned up and ready to go for the summer. But let me tell you what, it's 80 degrees every day. Summer is here. You got to get down here to Lakeside Marine and Power Sports in Mecosta or their sister store, Nelson's over in Greenville. Both stores are open, ready to take care of you and service your needs. If you're still out there looking for a boat, let me tell you what, boats are picked over. We're not going to pull any punches. Not everybody's got a lot of boats left, but the guys here at Lakeside and at Nelson's got a few pontoons left. They've got a decent supply of fishing boats left as well. I just walked around the lot and saw at least a dozen what I would call really good premium fishing boats that would fit a lot of different people's needs, as well as a nice couple rows of pontoons. So if you're still in the market, you haven't pulled the trigger, get down here to Lakeside Marine and Power Sports in Mecosta. Until then, we'll see you next week here on the Fisherman's Digest Hot Bites Report.